Okay, folks, you might be wondering who this is and where it's at. This is a gentleman by the name of Alex Membrillo. He is CEO of a digital marketing firm called Cardinal Digital Marketing. And this is part of a post at zenireport.com, April 3rd. And you may wonder why it's there. And it is there now. And it's because I happened to see him talking about a
I didn't get that.
incident.
Could you try
And
again?
what he was talking about, as I realized it, and I reprinted what he wrote here, was George Floyd. And he had some great words to say on Black Lives Matter and ending systemic racism. And he says we can't let the momentum slow down. We need to be able to look back and say that our generation ended systemic racism. I spent the last 3 weeks learning from peers and figuring out how I can start being part of the solution instead of the problem. And that sentence really caught my eye. And then he continued, writing, "It starts with changing my internal biases and stereotypes." That caught my eye. And he went on to write, "This will take ongoing attention to my thoughts and tweaking to ensure that I notice when it happens." It continues with speaking up. Speaking up when others around me make comments that don't align with ending this biased thought and action pattern. At Cardinal, his company, we are making monthly donations to activist groups. So the momentum continues, and we are having weekly conversations about the Black Lives Movement and what we can do in each of our lives to end racism. I encourage all business leaders to give the afternoon of June 19th off, Juneteenth, for reflection for their teams, not just this year, but every year. And then make sure you talk about what they learned with your teams the following week. Finally, just because the movement may not be in the news in the next few weeks does not mean we can let up. Let's band together and keep the conversation top of mind so this ends in 2020. And I wrote, awesome, but does Alex Membrillo and Cardinal Digital Marketing actually work with Black professionals like me? And the reason I wrote that was because it caught my eye that he mentioned giving money to activist groups in these conversations, but he didn't say, I'm going to hire more Black folks. I'm going to work with more Black businesses as partners. I'm going to work with more Blacks in digital marketing. Those words did not appear on this page, so I would have to assume they didn't come out of his mouth. And I found that alarming, really alarming, because in the same year, around about the same time, there was a gentleman by the name of Luke Davis, and I mentioned Luke Davis here. And Luke Davis is an American, and he was writing about how hard it was for being Black in digital marketing. And it's a post Alex and you, if you're watching this, should read. For all practical purposes, the environment he has, only one Black person is shown, is mentioned by Luke Davis, this paragraph. In other words, Alex's firm, I checked his roster, they only had one Black person out of, 92? Luke writes about microaggressions, brief but common forms of communication that can be derogatory towards people from marginalized groups, are an unfortunate part of office life. For Jamar Ramos of Crunchy Links, they're a fundamental reason why he doesn't miss working in an office. He started his business. And I saw that and wondered if the lone Black woman who was working for Alex was dealing with the same problem in his company. So the question for Alex is, what have you learned with respect to Black Lives Matter over the years? And I'm waiting for the answer. I'm still waiting. So I decided to, goose things a little bit by making this vlog and saying, hey, Alex, I'm still waiting for my answer. Because you put out a very necessary and very between the eyes statement about how white people should address the job of getting rid of racism as soon as possible. That's how I interpreted what you're reading. Okay? And on the other hand, a big part of racism is money taken out, or I should say, put it another way, money not put in black pockets in terms of getting jobs when they're well qualified, super qualified for them. Let's take digital marketing. Let's take SEO specialists. So it stands to reason that SEO specialists will be pretty good at, say, writing content that put your name out there so it could be searched if someone typed your name and your company's name, right? And they find you and they find what I wrote or what I'm saying, right? That's what an SEO specialist does. But I don't see that you have anyone black working with you or for you, or that you work for, who is a digital marketing SEO specialist like me. All right? I found that alarming. So I thought, let me test him here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm testing you. I'm testing you because you're right. We need to keep the conversation going. This is 2024 and this is 2024, okay? That was 2020. And I'd like to know that we're improving. Keeping up the dialogue, but also changing, working together means that we're really improving. So, hey, Alex, subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark ZennyReport.com. All right. And you guys and gals watching this, let me know what you think. See ya.